Okay, folks, we did it. We're here. We made it. I have joked on and off for about 2 years now, talking about the Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. It's finally here. We did it. We had it made. It was an interesting thing. Now we're talking about it. Full spoilers ahead, okay? I'm going into it. I am not a reviewer who operates under the assumption you haven't seen the film. I'm a reviewer who operates under the assumption that you are trying to hear my opinion so it validates your own and somebody agrees with you. So when I say that, just know spoilers are coming. When I also say that, just know this is one of the worst films Marvel has put out in ages. I mean, any film, any Marvel, even Sony. Look, I could talk shit about Let There Be Carnage and Morbius, but at least I know a studio messed up on those. Like, a studio clearly said, this is what's happening. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is a shocking departure from what a Marvel Studios film should be, and it's honestly one of the worst parts of the film. Now, I say that. Look, you are going to meet people like me who love and respect Sam Raimi. I think he's a visionary. He is really fun. He seems like a decent guy. He knows his stuff. He knows how to talk about it, and he knows how to make a competent film. He also knows his visionary style can play into the wheelhouse of a horror film. So, yes, I'm on board for that. When you say you got Sam Raimi coming in to do this, I'm on board for that. I love it. The problem with getting Sam Raimi in is you lose Scott Derrickson, and I like him too, but it's also, you already know what you're doing. You already have your script ready, your film is laid out, here are the beats you have to hit. You have studio interference like, we're going to let you do your thing, Sam, but you have to do these. And that is the problem with this film. More than anything, there's a lot of problems with this film, but more than anything, the problem I have with this film is you are trying to cram Sam Raimi's style into a Marvel film, and it's not working the way you'd want it to. I was actually talking to a coworker about this today. Here's how I'm going to describe it to you. Imagine you are at a McDonald's, and you're like, I want a McDonald's burger. You get it. You like, I had this before. I know I like the taste. It is very good. I enjoy it. Some people will make fun of me for thinking McDonald's makes satisfying burgers, but it's good. It's like getting Gordon Ramsay to come in and make a McDonald's burger using the ingredients of the McDonald's burger, and you get this weird hodgepodge of just things that are like, oh man, this is made by Gordon Ramsay, but suddenly this clashes with what makes a McDonald's hamburger. It's like, I like that Gordon Ramsay is thinking of making a McDonald's hamburger, but that doesn't really make anything better for the McDonald's hamburger. It's just, now Gordon Ramsay touched a McDonald's hamburger. That's this film. From the get-go, Sam Raimi's style is visible. You can see it through everything. The overtures, you just see the overlays where it's a scene on a scene, great cutaways, great dissolves. It is classic schlucky B-list Sam Raimi. It looks amazing. Everything about that is cool. The pans when you go into somebody's eye, the way it cuts away, this like the freaky, POV shots. It is classic Sam Raimi, and my God, is that cool. I love the idea that we can actually get a talented visionary director to do their style in the MCU. That is awesome. I adore that, because you could hate me for this, but the truth is, every director the MCU has gotten has been talented, but they have not really put their vision into everything. They've all pretty much looked like the same universe. There was no distinctive, transitions, no distinctive moments with the camera moving in a certain way, showing you a distorted version. There was never any of that. They have their own flavor when it comes to the writing and comedy, but the visual, the editing, the directing has never been that different for any of them. This is the first film to actually do that. This is the first film the MCU has produced where I'm like, holy shit, you really are letting Sam Raimi do his thing in the editing. There are so many great Sam Raimi shots in here. The problem with that, the utter problem with that, is that it doesn't fit with the tone of the film. Sam Raimi's style does not fit with the tone or the story or any other element of this film. It is just like watching a master at work play in the sandbox or something else. It doesn't fit. It is so jarring and it is so weird because you feel like if you let him write this script, play into that wheelhouse as opposed to making his directorial vision fit into the world he's already given, it would flow so much better because holy shit, is it jarring. There is such a shift in tone when you are seeing the story being presented with the characters you are being presented to with Sam Raimi's style. It's beautiful. It looks great. It is such a cool direction that this film is taking, but it does not play well with the story it is telling, with the tone it is trying to set of this film. If it was just perfectly horror, gothic, weird, creepy, more dark man feeling, as opposed to fitting into the narrative of the MCU, perfect. It would be great, but it's not. It is clashing the Sam Raimi style with the MCU's tone, and it's not working. It makes this film a distorted mess that I cannot stand. This film actually left me going, I cannot believe this was made. I cannot believe somebody at Marvel said this was okay to print. 'Cause, wow, is it annoying and bad and just weird. I was lost in the first scene with the terrible CGI when we go to the Book of Ashanti. It was bad. And this is the thing. Look, I will criticize Marvel films all day for their visual effects. But I also know there are talented teams behind the scenes that have to rush to get those out. But I absolutely hate. Nothing pisses me off more in Marvel films when they just do the shallow depth of field where the background is out of focus so you can just put whatever the hell you want back there and the character is in focus. It looks terrible. It feels gross and cheap and disgusting, and the fact very few people are commenting that every film does it is very annoying. Say what you will about Eternals, it did that the least, okay? And that made me happy, but that opening scene with the one Strange and Chavez, I hated looking at that. And then it just jars into this really weird mashup, a story that has a really weird pace. The pacing is all over the place. It feels very filler. It feels like we have to tell the story to get to the next one because we introduced the concept of the multiverse and now we have to deal with it. By the way, fuck you, okay? Here's the thing. You are saying in your press releases, you have to watch WandaVision, you have to watch Spider-Man No Way Home. This deals right with Loki. Fuck you. No, it doesn't. They make one reference to Spider-Man, an offhanded one. They make multiple references to WandaVision where you don't have to see the show because there it is. There's what's happening. It doesn't matter. And it has nothing to do with Loki, so shut the hell up. This does not matter to anything else you did before it. If you want this to be a connected universe, fine, but this story doesn't stand with those. It stands on its own. So shut the fuck up. It does not need you. It doesn't need them. It's a mess on its own. I have a lot of problems with some of the characterizations in this film. We're going to get into it. First off, there is not much that Steven does in this. It is a story essentially of him stepping up. I maybe not stepping up, but it opens with this idea that he is unhappy. Christine is getting married. He is unhappy. She asks him, "Are you happy?" At the end, he's still not happy, and Wong's like, "Well, that's just part of the journey." He's like, "Well, at least we can be unhappy together." Cool. And through the middle of that, you kind of see maybe he needs to learn his lesson and reveal himself to be the person he is. I think the lesson Strange is supposed to learn, or the growth or the journey he's supposed to go on, is no matter what I do, I'm always making the mistakes, and maybe I should be worse off for it, but I keep getting lucky, and then suddenly that's affecting my life, but it's not really there. It's not really there, is it? There's a couple moments where he just does the thing that the bad versions of Strange have done and he gets away with it. So that's not really learning the lesson. Is it because you're protecting a girl? I mean, is it because you're protecting a MacGuffin and not a girl? Like, what the it's weird. And it's not that interesting. I've never been a Doctor Strange fan. Like, this character has very little to offer me for a wide appeal. But I get it. I get why people like Cumberbatch. I get why people want this. His journey in this was very much just move the plot along. I have to go through all this stuff and deal with it. It's fine. That's a comic book sometimes. The protagonist can be the one out of the loop. I'm fine with that. He's the least egregious character in this film. He's the one I like the most. Defender Strange at the beginning dies. Who gives a shit? Fine. That weird one that's like in the dark reality is cool. Let's beat around the bush right now. That's the only scene I liked in this film. When our Doctor Strange goes to the one where he like destroyed his reality, it's an incursion, he's climbing up the big stairway, he's talking to his version of Doctor Strange that ended all reality. They get into the fight with the musical notes. Holy shit, that was dope. That's the only sequence I liked in this film, when those two strangers are fighting with the notes, when the atmosphere suddenly shifts, like we're walking through this musty, misty darkness up these stairs to this man who broke his reality. I love that. That's one of the things I absolutely adored about this film. Probably the only thing that actually made me go, this is really cool. If it was more of this, and I think that's the vision Scott Derrickson was going for, if it was more of that, holy shit, that would have been dope. Because then I gotta feel, at the beginning of Gigantos, and you got all the stuff with the Illuminati, I have to wonder how Scott Derrickson would have filmed that, because I would have liked to see his movie more, honestly. I think he would have taken it into a less constructive way, and it would have just been more filler, but I think that would have maybe worked better for the tone this film was going for. So that sequence was great. The fighting with the music notes is literally the best thing this film ever did. Danny Elfman's score, it's pretty okay. In that scene, it was really good. So there you go. Those are the Doctor Strangers that we see. There's another one who like defeats Thanos, and he like goes to the Darkhold and goes evil. Whatever. It's fine. We'll get to the the Illuminati in a bit here. Wong, yeah, just the jokey character. Still Sorcerer Supreme, that's fine. Rintrah is in a lot of the marketing. He's in maybe 2 seconds of the film. Whatever. It's the kid from 1917, though, right? We're obviously building up for something with him. Very weird. Let's talk about America Chavez. I like the character. I think she's fun. In the comic books, I've always had a soft spot for America. I absolutely cannot believe this is what we got for the character. Because she's not a real character. She's not. America in this film is a MacGuffin, a plot device. She is the thing that the villain is after. Her power. It's not even that she is important. It's her power that's important. She's not a character. Her only characterization is that she likes to eat. Cool. She's going to get along with Kate Bishop and Yelena. Look at all these young women just acting the same way, not being real characters sometimes. Very frustrating. And there's only one sequence talking about her mothers in the parallel utopia, and it's just like, you stand on a platform and it reads your mind. I'm like, shut the fuck up. How lazy can you be that this is how you're explaining your exposition? It is so annoying. There's other ways to get around that, but you really just screwed the pooch, didn't you? That was so lazy and dumb. I hated it. I cannot believe one of the coolest characters. This character is going to mean so much to people. She is Latina. She is a character of LGBTQ plus orientation, and that's what you do. That sucks. I am just wow. Oh man. Christine Palmer, we see 2 versions of her. One, she's married and happy. The other one, she's unhappy and not married or whatever the fuck. I don't know. That one was cool. Night nurse costume, cool. That was kind of fun. I really like Rachel McAdams. I'm amazed she wants to come back and do these, because she doesn't do anything. She doesn't. She just literally protects Steven when he turns into a zombie, which was, that looked good. That was some of the best visuals too when Steven was the zombie. Well, whatever. And then we have, I think, the biggest problem with the film. That is the stuff with Wanda. And look, I am not here to complain about the deconstruction of a character like this. I'm all for it. If you want to take Wanda's journey and make her the villain, yes. That's brilliant. Wanda is one of the greatest threats in the Marvel Universe. She has killed more X-Men and Avengers than anybody. I love her. She's a fantastic character, and Elizabeth Olsen is doing wonders here. Her journey fucking sucks. It's the same journey she went on in WandaVision. It's literally that. So you don't even need to watch WandaVision. It's her trying to reestablish her reality with her sons, which is what the plot of WandaVision was. And when people are like, you can't do this, you're hurting a lot of people, that's what's happening in both the show and the movie. And at the end, she sacrificed herself because she realized that she has become the monster, just like she did in WandaVision. So what did she just learned the same lesson twice. The end of WandaVision, she saw her kid. She's like, I have to let you go because look what I did to these innocent people. The end of this movie, she's like, I have to let my kids go, but not because I'm hurting innocent people, because they see me as a monster. What? That is just so weird. It's the same lesson. She realized that she she was the bad guy and stops. So twice now she has sacrificed her happiness for this story. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is this the same lesson? So I honestly think, and here's what I think. You should have made this movie first. Release this, do that story. The mountain collapses on Wanda, and then you do WandaVision. And then you're like, oh, she's establishing her own happiness within here as a psychotic break to let herself feel these things. I think that would have flowed better because you can't go from WandaVision where she learns her lesson to this. You can't. It doesn't work. It doesn't feel like a natural flow. Her storyline was really annoying, and it clashed so much of the stuff with Doctor Strange. I did not like that at all. And just so much of her just killing everybody was cool, I guess. But I'm like, really? This is boring. And it was just like, I get it. She's going to learn the lesson in the end because you can't let her be bad forever. You just can't. And I really just don't enjoy what we saw. So, damn. I'm just so disappointed in this film because it's so just bad. It's such a bad-paced film. I don't think there was much good to it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on the Illuminati stuff. I talked to death about it. Patrick Stewart's back. I cannot talk about Patrick Stewart without bringing up the fact that his wife is 40 years younger than him. Sorry, I just have to say that. Think about that for a minute. Captain Carter's here. Cool. Synergy. What if? There you go. Captain Marvel. Cool. Synergy. The Marvels movie. Anson Mount, Inhuman. He's back as Black Bolt. The best part of this cameo scene was him because he gets to shout and kill Doctor Strange. He gets his lips thrown off and he kills himself. That's cool. Anson Mount is going to have the best sex of his life this week because he's got 2 big shows that he's in. This and Star Trek. I'm going to do Star Trek reviews. I like this guy a lot. So that's cool. Mordo's back. Who gives a flying hoot about the other Mordo from our universe? Who cares? He doesn't have cool hair. Where's Brother Voodoo? Who gives a shit? Just saying he looked a lot like Brother Voodoo. Who else was there? Was there somebody else of importance there? I don't know. Yes, there was, of course. Okay, let's take a minute. I have talked shit about the characters, the writing, the story points, the clash of tone and style. I have talked shit about all of that. But my God, was this the one thing that has infuriated me more than anything? This one cameo that as soon as it happened, my theater erupted into cheers. They got John Krasinski as Reed Richards. I have talked to death about this. I've literally done video upon video talking about why I don't want this to happen. Here's the thing about it. RDJ and Benedict Cumberbatch are playing 2 of the biggest assholes in the Marvel Universe. And you know what? They're doing it convincingly. They're good at it. Because, Tony and Steven are not supposed to be guys you like. And they're doing a good job of making you like them. But Reed is a bigger asshole than both of them. And I mean this wholeheartedly. Krasinski cannot play that side of Reed. His Reed, and I know it's simple and it doesn't add anything, but his Reed was such a poorly delivered line. It just sounded like, I'm pretty sure it was just like, a reshoot when he came in. It sounded terrible. It just sounded like a guy stiff reading nothing. He cannot convincingly pull it off. Because, look, I don't want to get too much into the weeds of the Reed thing, but he's not going to give a shit about Steven destroying the multiverse. Why would he care? I don't think it matters. I do like that he brought up that he has kids because Franklin and Valeria need to be in these movies, okay? They're so important. Oh, I'm so glad he died. I hope he's not the actual MCU Reed, whatever the fuck, but he probably is. Just know, I said it here first, he doesn't have the tenacity or the just, deadpan, this is boring nature of a Reed Richards where everything's like so unimportant to him. He is just reading the lines like John Krasinski would, and that's not Reed. That is John Krasinski pretending to be Reed. Whatever. I don't want to talk about it anymore. We're done with that. We have the post-credit scenes. Fuck yeah, Bruce Campbell, best post-credit scene the MCU ever did because he looks right into the camera and says, it's done, it's over. Not just him punching himself at the film. Go home, you idiots. People in my theater are pissed. I'm like, you guys shut up. This is the best thing the movie's done. He's Pizza Papa. Pizza Papa, baby. That was great. Clea shows up. Charlize Theron. Nobody got that. Okay. He's got the third eye blind. Let's jump, baby. Cool. It's fine. It's just, like, that was fun. It looked bad, but whatever. I don't care. I don't care. This film didn't do anything fun. It didn't. It just happened. I don't like it. It was badly paced, poorly written, edited so beautifully for a story that doesn't capture it. I know some people are not going to understand what I mean, but the style of the filmmaking and the tone of the film do not intersect. It looks like shit, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and everything about this film just left me like, I cannot believe this was made. What a unmitigated, well, not disaster, just, wow, this is insane. Bad characters, no characters actually, just people doing what they need to do to advance the MCU story. Just absolutely, without a doubt, one of the worst things I've ever seen, but I like Anson Mount, I love the fight with the music, and I like Bruce Campbell. And I like Sam Raimi, so maybe next time if you bring him back, let him write the fucking script, because he might be able to fix the things that you guys didn't do for him. So, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, it wasn't even that big of a multiverse, and it wasn't even that mad. I'm going to give a 4 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.